Did you know that 1 in 10 Americans live with a rare condition, a rare disease? And did you know that most rare diseases have no treatment or no cure? And there are over 300 million people worldwide living with a rare disease. So today, February 28th, is Rare Disease Day. So it's a day every single year, just a worldwide day of advocacy for rare diseases. So for all rare diseases, not just one specific disease, but the rare disease community as a whole. And it's such a cool day because there are so many things that happen, that go on. Like there are events, and there are patients and caregivers sharing their stories that that they've probably shared many times. But when you get to share it on Rare Disease Day, it seems to reach more people, and that's part of it. That's one of the things that we want Rare Disease Day to do, is provide more reach so that people can learn about rare diseases, right? It's such a fun day, and there's stuff that goes on all month. It's technically Rare Disease Month, and here where I am in the U.S., there are a lot of things like Rare Disease Day on Capitol Hill, so in Washington D.C., to advocate for legislative policy, and then there are other local events that go on. It's such a fun day for rare, and honestly, like the biggest day in rare, pretty much, because it's a worldwide global effort. And as people know, I live with an ultra rare genetic metabolic bone disease called hypophosphatasia, and it's such a challenging rare disease. It just brings so many challenges. It took 25 years to get a diagnosis, even though I was born with signs and symptoms of the disease and had symptoms all the way up until my diagnosis. I've had 27 surgeries. I've had my hips replaced multiple times. I've had major surgeries on my shoulder and my elbows and my hands. And so it's such a challenging thing to deal with. And while I live with Crohn's disease as well, not a rare condition, but it brings its own challenges, and rare diseases just bring even more challenges to the table. So it's extremely important for us as a community, as a rare community, to continue to raise our voices, to advocate for change, for better legislative policies, for better healthcare, for treatments, for funding, for all of these things. And in my opinion, it's more important than ever to raise our voices and raise awareness. There's a lot going on in the world, and things like right now in most states, there's state legislative sessions that are happening, so bills are being passed. There's stuff happening at the federal government where bills are also being passed. So it's important to advocate for yourself for rare disease policy, and it's a really great way to be part of advocacy, and by speaking up and letting your legislators know that, hey, look, you live with a rare disease, and these are, you hope that they will support legislation that helps the community and could potentially help your disease. So it's a really fun day to get involved and to highlight the importance of rare disease advocacy and awareness. And there's so many things that the rare community still needs. 95% of rare diseases have no treatment, and that's a big deal. Like I said, I have another disease, Crohn's disease, and that disease has many treatments. And then I have a rare disease, and I'm of the 5% that has a treatment. However, it's just one treatment, and most diseases that aren't rare have multiple treatments. So there are so many challenges that we face as a rare disease community that we get to highlight today. And Rare Disease Day allows us as a community to come together as a whole, and raise our voices for so many different conditions and just the rare community. And I'm proud to be part of this community. But one of the things I'd like to highlight again is just getting involved in today. Share your story. I mean, there again, living with a rare disease is challenging. But one of the things about rare diseases is that a lot of people are not going to know about your disease because it's rare. And so sharing your story so people hear of it and learn, these things help bring access to information for people who may have this disease and don't have a diagnosis yet. So there are a lot of cool things that come out of this day. And again, technically it's Rare Disease Month as well, so there's stuff that's happened all month long. But Rare Disease Day is kind of the culmination of the entire month and the advocacy efforts. And it's one of those things that we do once a year. But rare disease patients, I mean, every day is Rare Disease Day for us. Every day we live with these conditions and are affected by them in some way, and have to do certain things, and go to doctor's appointments, and be have symptoms of the disease, and all of these things. But it's a collective day as a community where we can really try to make a difference. And again, it's more important than ever to continue to raise awareness and to share our stories. And I hope that today you, as potentially somebody who's affected by a rare disease in some way, feel supported and don't feel lonely. That's a common theme in the rare disease community where people feel lonely, and I hate that. But I get that. I hate that. There are a lot of patients out there who do feel lonely, and I was in that spot. But once you find your community, and that may not be someone living with your disease, but it may be somebody with a rare disease and who understands some of what you're going through, that goes a long way. And it's part of the day. It's part of Rare Disease Day, and being able to share our stories and have this outreach and hopefully connect with others who are in similar situations or potentially have our same disease. And again, there are so many cool things that we can do to get involved, but sharing your story is one of the most powerful and impactful things, in my opinion. And that's why I share my story. But it's impactful to hear what rare disease patients go through on a day-to-day basis and what they've been through, and the barriers that we face to access to care, to anything that we need to treat our disease or to help us feel better. It's important to highlight those barriers so that we can have something to work toward and something to break these barriers down. So I hope that today, more than ever, you'll share your story or get involved, and just be there for other patients, for other rare patients, and get involved in state legislation, federal legislation, or whatever you think of. It's pretty easy to do, but it makes a huge impact, not just for your condition or your disease or even the rare disease community. Sometimes it's legislation for all, like chronic illness and healthcare. But it's a really cool way to get involved and to try and make a difference for others. And so I hope that you'll get involved on today to raise your voice for rare diseases, to share your story, to interact with others, and just try to help us make a difference for the rare disease community so that we don't get left behind in certain things, and that there's a continued effort to treat and raise funding and support rare disease patients. So happy Rare Disease Day. I hope that you'll get involved in some way. And please reach out if you ever need anything from me. I'm here to talk, here to help. But again, happy Rare Disease Day.